Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Shooting in Durham, the fifth incident this year at Oxford Manor Apartments. We have a live look at the scene right now. The early information as the breaking news tracker spots bullet holes in windows.
And our weather looks gorgeous. The State Fair gates open at noon. Temperatures look wonderful. I'll let you know if it will last through the weekend.
Plus, the State Fair opens today. Today, you can enjoy food, games, and more. The traffic troubles you could run into on the first fair day. A lot of excitement because the fair is finally here. Let's get right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gartner with a look at the cooler temperatures here today. Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's going to feel nice. It feels very similar to the way it did yesterday. Our temperatures are mainly in the mid-50s, heading out the door, 56 degrees right now. In downtown Raleigh, 51 is our dew point, so it feels nice and comfortable. Our skies are clear. There's a really pretty crescent moon out there right now that you might see. We've dipped to 46 in Roxborough, but 54 in South Hill, 58 in Southern Pines, and 53 in Goldsboro. With clear skies, our temperatures might drop a little bit more down into the low 50s this morning and this afternoon. Feeling a little cooler than yesterday. We were in the upper 70s yesterday, looking at right around 70. We're going to see a chilly night tonight, and then again for Saturday morning as well. I'll show you what that will look like. But our first 3 days of the State Fair are looking great. A high of 68 for Friday, but back to 77 Saturday. We still have a small chance for some rain on Sunday night. We'll take a look at the timeline for that coming up.
Elizabeth, thank you. Now to that breaking news this morning. Durham police are investigating a shooting at the Oxford Manor Apartments. WRAL's Allie Catlabar is on Danube Lane in the WRAL breaking news tracker. And Allie, we know that this is the fifth shooting there this year. And we also know that you spoke to neighbors in that area.
Laura, we reported on a shooting here less than a week ago, and in 2025, 2 children, 3 juveniles, and 2 men have been shot here so far. I spoke with neighbors. They say it's normal for them to wake up to a crime scene like this, and now this unit has been hit by gunfire. You can see in that window there, they have it covered, but we've seen investigators taking pictures of several bullet holes in that window throughout the morning for the past 3 hours now. Take a look at this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. Officers got here around 1 a.m. We saw investigators take photos of an upstairs window with at least 4 bullet holes. We also spotted evidence markers outside the complex. Police have been gathering evidence here for more than 3 hours now. We're working to find out if anyone got hurt, as well as if anybody has been arrested. We have reached out to Durham police. We're going to keep you updated. Reporting live in Durham, Allie Catlabar, WRAL News.
We are trying to learn new information about an early morning crash in Garner. The WRAL breaking news tracker was on the scene on US 70 near Benson Road just after 1 a.m. The car had quite a bit of damage to the front end. We're still trying to find out what led up to the crash and if anyone was hurt. And new this morning, a house fire in Cary. Dozens of firefighters responded to a home on Schatz Court. This is video from the scene here before 3 a.m. You can see smoke rising from the roof. We're working to learn if anyone was hurt in the fire. Well, the State Fair gates open at noon today. You can see we're counting down, and it's finally time for games, food, and prize-winning produce. WRAL's Monica Casey is at the fairgrounds this morning. And Monica, people looking to get to the fair will likely face some trouble getting there.
That's right. Opening day comes with a lot of excitement, but also some anxiety around traffic issues this year, given what we saw earlier this week. Now, on Tuesday night, tons of people had issues getting to the Chris Brown concert over at Carter Finley Stadium. And now Billie Eilish has a 2-day concert at the Lenovo Center today and tomorrow. We spoke with people who were stuck in that traffic snarl earlier this week, who say they just didn't make that concert at all.
Yeah, so when I was at 0.3 miles, it was at, I think, 1 hour and 20 minutes. And then it kept changing and it kept going back and forth. And then I looked up and I realized it was after 10 and I was still in the parking line and people were turning around.
Now, when it comes to the fair itself, the director tells us they can handle huge numbers because this event has turnover throughout the day rather than a concert where everyone is trying to get there at the same time. He does say, though, when there is a second large event in this area like tonight, it can impact traffic, so you'll want to plan ahead. Live in Raleigh, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
And today is Wolfpack Day at the fair. NC State students get in for just $8. All you need is your student ID at the gate. You can visit WRAL while you're there at the fair. We are in our usual spot right next to Dorton Arena. Dan Haggerty and Ashley Rowe will start things off today at 2 p.m. You'll find a comprehensive guide to the state fair on WRAL.com. Well, police are sharing an update about the crash that killed 3 high school students in Fayetteville. They now confirm that speed was a factor. The crash happened last Thursday night on Rose Hill Road. 3 E.E. Smith football players died. The driver, 21-year-old Diamond Monroe, remains in critical condition. Investigators are working to find the cause of a fire at an empty Wake County house with a complex history. This is what Sky 5 captured over the scene yesterday on Banks Road. The homeowner is listed as 43-year-old Aaron Dool. He's currently in jail on several charges, including possession of a weapon on mass destruction. Neighbors tell WRAL several people live in what they call an encampment behind the property. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Early voting for municipal elections gets started today in Wake and Cumberland counties. Election day is Tuesday, November 4th. Early voting will continue through Saturday, November 1st. A Wake County voter shares why she believes local elections are so important.
These politicians need to know what's happening around us so that they can be able to focus on us. I know the national elections usually get all the spotlight, but it really starts back home, and people really need to understand these are the people that are making the decisions right here.
Get out and vote. In Wake County, you can cast your ballot starting at 8:30 at the County Board of Elections. 3 more polling places will open up for early voters on Saturday, October 25th. Those are at community centers in Garner, Apex, and Cary. In Cumberland County, the first polling place opens at 8 a.m. today. You can cast your ballot at the Cumberland County Board of Elections. The Cliffdale and Kiwanis Recreation Centers will open to voters at noon. As the government shutdown stretches on, another round of nationwide protests are set for this weekend. Several of those protests will be right here in our area. Back in June, more than 5 million people across the country were part of the, quote, No Kings demonstrations across the country. This Saturday, another 1,300 protests are planned. The group says this will be a nonviolent day of action to, quote, defend democratic norms and reject authoritarianism. Now, around 15 demonstrations are planned in our area. A full list can be found on WRAL.com. The U.S. struck another small boat accused of carrying drugs in the Caribbean on Tuesday. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posted this video of the strike on X. It happened just off the coast of Venezuela. 6 people who were on the boat were killed. No U.S. forces were harmed. This is the 5th boat strike ordered by President Donald Trump. On Wednesday, he confirmed the CIA has been authorized to operate on the ground in Venezuela to continue attacks on accused drug traffickers. Today, we are expecting some big news from Garner. The town is expected to make an economic development announcement at 9 a.m. We're working to learn more about what this announcement could possibly be. WRAL will be monitoring this announcement out of Garner. You can tune into our afternoon newscast starting at 4 p.m. for a breakdown of how this could impact your wallet. We have an update now. Highway 12 on Ocracoke Island is open again. The Hatteras Ocracoke Ferry has also resumed service with the road opening. Parts of NC 12 were closed after flooding from a nor'easter this past weekend. And that stretch of road is vulnerable to flooding and overwash. A DOT spokesperson says that we have seen more destructive weather over the last decade or so.
We are faced with climate changes that are bringing us more severe storms more frequently. They're here to stay. So it's certainly some hard discussions are being had about how do we build our infrastructure so that it is resilient.
And Jamie Kreitzer there says that there are studies ongoing looking at short and long-term solutions for Highway 12. Today, the Durham Public Health Department will finish its last round of spraying to try stopping the spread of West Nile virus. Crews have sprayed different parts of the county in recent weeks. The health department reported a record number of mosquitoes with West Nile virus this year. It estimates hundreds of people had West Nile, but didn't know because they didn't have symptoms or the symptoms were mild. The health department says the spray poses a very small risk to people. A crash on eastbound I-40 near Wade Avenue caused some problems for the evening commute. Sky 5 flew over the crash that caused massive backups just after 6 p.m. We know at least 3 cars were involved in the crash. We're trying to find out what led up to that crash and the conditions of the people involved. And later last night, a separate crash also led to major backups on I-40. This is what the westbound lanes looked like near Airport Boulevard. At one point, all 4 lanes were blocked off, and traffic was backed up about a mile to Aviation Parkway. Cars were eventually seen moving through at around 11 p.m., and the roads were completely cleared just before 11:30. We have more news just ahead here. Deadly mistakes revealed. The final report on the Titan sub disaster points to what investigators call inadequate engineering. What they say about OceanGate overlooked before tragedy struck. Plus, monumental idea. President Trump's latest plan involves a towering tribute in D.C., inspired by one of Francis's most famous landmarks. And here's a live look at the State Fair. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tells us about today's fall chill for the start of the fair.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:44. Take a look. We have a live look at the State Fair right now. Everything is all lit up. This is such a great camera. Even when it's dark outside, it just looks like daylight with all those lights. And they are ready to go. They're going to open those gates at noon today. Heading out the door right now, temperatures are nice and crisp. 46 in Roxborough, 56 in Durham, 54 in Fayetteville, 58 in Garner, and 52 in Rocky Mount. But tonight, our temperatures are going to be even colder. We're seeing a push of colder air coming in. We're going to feel it this afternoon. Not so much this morning, but later on this afternoon, looking at a high of only around 70 degrees. Lots of sunshine today. It's going to feel fantastic. We do have a small chance for rain still on Sunday night, but we're beginning to trend a little bit drier. I'll show you that in detail coming up.
Elizabeth, thank you. Transgender people on the state health plan in North Carolina will lose coverage for some treatments. A years-long court battle ended yesterday. The ruling is that the state health plan does not have to pay for certain gender-affirming care. Federal courts ruled last year that the state health plan should cover treatments related to being transgender. The state appealed and lost. But this summer, the U.S. Supreme Court took the opposite stance. Federal investigators say the implosion of the Titan submersible in 2023 was caused by the OceanGate's inadequate engineering process. The NTSB released its final report on the implosion yesterday. All 5 people inside were killed when the submersible imploded during a voyage to the Titanic wreckage. The report says the Titan was damaged during 2 previous dives and was still used despite that damage. The report also said OceanGate failed to adequately test the Titan. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the federal government shutdown is slowing the U.S. economy. His department estimates the impact is about $15 billion a week. The ongoing standoff could stretch past Thanksgiving. The Federal Reserve leaders warned the lack of data from the shutdown makes it harder to do their job. Many experts say tariffs were already pressuring the economy, and a new IMF report predicts U.S. growth will lag behind other nations in the coming months. President Donald Trump is involved in plans for a new monument in the nation's capital. It would be an art resembling France's Arc de Triomphe, and the White House says Trump personally came up with a design to commemorate the country's 250th anniversary next summer. The monument would be placed in a traffic circle near the Arlington Memorial Bridge. It is unclear how the project will be funded or when it could be built. Dunn's police chief will step down later this month. Police Chief Carrie Jackson announced her resignation yesterday. Her last day on the job is October 28th. Jackson was placed on administrative leave with pay in September. We do not know why. Now, Major Nicholas Simmons will serve as interim chief while the police department searches for its next chief. In Orange County now, trash collection is delayed in Carborough. The town says some of the waste department's equipment failed. Collection may not happen for some people until next Monday. It depends on the progress of repairs. The town also delayed yard waste cleanup next week because trash collection got pushed back. It says people should leave their bins out until collection happens. Your time now is 4:47. Let's get back to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. And Elizabeth, I had to kind of bring some layers this morning walking into the newsroom.
Nice and cool out there. Temperatures mostly in the low to mid 50s. Tomorrow morning, it could be almost 10 degrees cooler. So we have some cool air that's going to be filtering in for it today. Right now, we're looking at clear skies over downtown Raleigh. As we take a look past the legislative building, 56 is our temperature and our dew point sitting at 51. So it feels great out there right now. It's 46 in Roxborough, 52 in Rocky Mount, 58 in Southern Pines. With light winds and clear skies, that allows our temperatures to drop pretty quickly. So we might see a few more areas dropping into the 40s. Right now it's 57 in Apex, 58 in Garner, 55 in Rollsville, 58 in Knightdale. Of course, the State Fair opens at noon today. It's going to be a pretty day. Lots of sunshine, not terribly breezy. High temperatures in the low 70s, 70 in Durham and Raleigh, 73 in Fayetteville. We do have cooler temperatures now that we had our cold front come through last night. We're going to see the blue shaded areas taking over all the way through Friday. But then Saturday and Sunday, ahead of a cold front, we're going to see warmer temperatures again. So Saturday and Sunday highs will be back into the upper 70s. Both days look really pretty, but on Sunday night, we may have a few showers, and we're going to talk about that in more detail. How about the first 3 days of the fair? 70 today, 68 Friday, and then 77 Saturday. So you can see how those temperatures do start to warm up a little bit over the weekend. For tomorrow morning, 39 in Roxborough, 40 in South Hill, 42 Durham, 44 in Fayetteville. So you can see these temperatures are about 10 degrees cooler than what we're seeing right now. And then even Saturday morning is going to be chilly with temperatures in the mid 40s to right around 50. So some chilly air coming our way. 43 possibly on Friday morning. That's the chilliest that we've seen since April. All right, some potential rain. Only a 40% chance now on Sunday night. Some of the models are starting to trend a little bit drier, but we'll probably see at least a little bit of light rain. Again, 40% chance on Sunday night. I'm going to walk you through that, and we'll talk about how much we could see. Once that moves on by, we're definitely looking at pleasant conditions at least through the middle of next week at the fair.
Elizabeth, thank you. Dinner warning ahead. A popular rice brand is being pulled from the shelves. What could be hiding in your pantry and how to check your label. Plus, Sing Along and Smile. We'll look at what's hitting theaters and give you an inside look behind the scenes of a documentary. A popular rice brand is being recalled because there could be small stones in it. It affects these Ben's original rices. The flavors include long grain white, whole grain brown rice, and long grain wild and ready rice. The stones are from the rice farms. They could hurt your mouth or your digestive system if you swallow them. The best by date on the packaging is August 2026. A special sing-along and a behind-the-scenes documentary. Douglas Hyde has your movie news in today's Hollywood Minute.
A sing-along version of K-pop Demon Hunters is returning to the big screen for Halloween. The hugely popular animated film is back in theaters on a limited run from October 31st to November 2nd. It's Netflix's most watched movie ever, and the streamer has created lyric videos just in case fans want to practice first at home.
Nothing is ever easy, but we learned so much, and that's why we wanted to give you a glimpse into the spirit of the making of the film.
Want a deep dive into the making of a blockbuster? James Cameron leads the way in Fire and Water, making the Avatar films. The new two-part documentary gives a behind-the-scenes look at Avatar: The Way of Water and a sneak peek at the upcoming Avatar: Fire and Ash. Fire and Water debuts on Disney Plus November 7th.
Tune in to what tonight has got to offer. Listen, we may never be here again.
Sammy Hagar's new live album was recorded this year during his residency at Las Vegas's Park MGM. The veteran rocker performed more Van Halen songs there than he has in decades. Hagar says he and bandmate Michael Anthony figured it was time.
Once Eddie died and Alex said he sold all his equipment, it was like, okay, there's never going to be a Van Halen reunion. That's done. So Mike and I just looked at each other, high-fived, and said, let's go out and do it. And oh, it's such a pleasure singing 5150, Summer Nights.
In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Wawa is expanding in North Carolina. Today, it will open its third store in Wilson on Forest Hills Road. This will be its 16th location in North Carolina. Wawa plans to build 6 to 8 stores per year with a goal of opening at least 90 statewide. A popular Halloween attraction in our state says it's running into some safety concerns for staff. Kersey Valley, Spokey Woods, and Randolph County says some actors are getting hit by customers. The haunted attraction often has actors jump out at people or scream to try to scare their guests. Organizers say some actors have been hit, shoved, or grabbed recently. They warn that people will get kicked out if they harm any of the staff. The American Indian Heritage Festival will be at a new site this year. It's normally at the History Museum. The museum is closed for renovations, so the event is being moved to the NC Museum of Art. Thousands of people come to the event each year. Members of each of the state's Native American tribes are represented. It's scheduled for November 22nd. Here's a look at what's ahead at 5 now. A deadly shooting at a Durham bus stop leaves loved ones grieving again. What police and city leaders are saying today about the growing violence, and perks or privacy. A new report reveals how one loyalty program may be tracking more than just your purchases. 5 on your side explains how and the efforts to protect your privacy. And stealing power, a Wake County man is accused of swiping nearly $500,000 worth of electricity. What police say he was also taking along the way.